Hello everyone, Dr. Cleworth here again, and this is the second of our tech tutorials. Hopefully you have already perused the tech tutorial on Perusal, which is our e-reader / social annotation application that we'll be using this semester. So this tutorial is on Packback, and Packback is going to be the tool that we will use to promote inquiry in this class and more meaningful course discussion. I don't know about your experience in course discussion boards in Canvas, but I find them to be rather unuseful. You know, we have one question posted and then everyone in the class is responding to the same question with these mini essays. It gets very monotonous and boring to read through. So we're going to try to shake things up and utilize a new tool that kind of turns over autonomy to you, the student, to kind of think about what you find most exciting or interesting or engaging about the learning content in a given unit, and then begin to develop some quality questions around what you find interesting. So hopefully you'll find this a much more dynamic exercise than standard discussion boards. We will also be using Packback for our major essay assignment this semester, the personal history essay. I will be demonstrating how to use Packback for the essay a little bit later in the semester. So we're just going to focus on the discussion component for this tutorial. So like Perusal, you have a Packback link in Universal Navigation, so you can always access Packback through that route. More useful for you though is going to be the modules route. And here you see our course orientation and some of our learning units. Okay, every single learning unit under the Let's Work section, you'll find a Packback assignment. So Unit 1 Packback for Unit 1, scroll through Learning Unit 2, Unit 2 Packback, Learning Unit 3, Unit 3 Packback, so on and so forth. Okay, so it's always in a consistent, easy to find place in your workflow. So we're going to click on our first Packback assignment, and I have found that Packback works better in a separate tab rather than embedded within the learning management system, Canvas. The view is just much better. So when you open up the assignment, it's going to give you this link that you need to click, and Packback will open up in a full screen mode. So I'm in presenter mode here, and your interface will look very similar to this. The first time you click in, however, I believe you'll have to select into our learning community, Holocaust Studies Learning Community. So you'll see a list of any communities available that you've been enrolled into by your instructors in your various courses. So you'll have to access this the first time. As an instructor, I don't have access to that view, but eventually when you do click on this community, this is the main landing page and what you're going to see on a consistent basis. Okay, so first thing you see are the three major assignment types available in Packback. We got questions, deep dives, and polls. We will not be using polls this semester, though I may integrate it in future semesters. Deep dives is where we will find our major essay assignment, the personal history essay. As I said before, not going to demo that today. I will create a separate screencast to give you a sense of how to effectively use the deep dive feature in Packback to create a strong and dynamic essay. We use questions every single learning unit in HUM 245, so this is what our focus is going to be on. When you scroll down a little bit, you're going to see any open assignments that are available for you. So all of the assignments are time date restricted. So right now the only discussion that you can see is the Unit 1 discussion. And as we move through learning units, you will see the subsequent Packback assignments for those units open up to you. Okay, and then I've opened up the personal history essay in deep dives. I've made that available simply because you want to have access to that throughout the semester to kind of check in with your own research and your progress. But again, I will do a separate demo on deep dives later on. So one of the first things you need to do in Packback is under questions, please click on tutorial. And when you do so, you're going to get this screen and it's going to give you 8 steps to walk through. Because I'm in demo mode, it's going to force me to do this tutorial and I'm not going to be able to X out of it. So we're going to start the tutorial. They have the general Packback student video that gives you a sense of what the interface is and what the philosophy is behind Packback. So I'm not going to play that now for you. So I'm going to click through all of these things, and then there's a couple kind of like quiz-like questions here that you need to have a look at. So I'm just going to click through these. You can do these on your own. I understand. Click that because I know it's the right answer. Moving on. Got it. Continue. Great. We're finished. Okay. Even though I buzzed through that, you yourself should not just fly through. Do take a look at those materials because they will help you ground yourself in the Packback interface. Okay. All right. So scrolling down here, we see the first Packback assignment and a couple things to bring to your mind. So what we have over here is the access dates for this question. So you'll see that I have a start date of August 10th. That's just arbitrary. I wanted to make sure that this Packback was open to you even before the course start date for the semester. Okay. So future start and due dates will align with the learning unit deadlines that you find in Canvas. Okay, so you'll get access to one question at a time as we move through the learning units. Okay, what is also shown here is what's due. So for every Packback, you are going to be writing one open-ended, insightful question. You'll be writing a description of your question, why you think it's a good question. And then you're going to be responding to 2 of your fellow colleagues' posts. So this gives you a synopsis of what's due. And you'll also see, actually I'll show you this on the next screen here. Let's go ahead and jump into the question. What is really important up here are deadlines. So you'll notice there are 2 separate deadlines for Packback. Every time we do a Packback discussion assignment, the question component is going to be due 48 hours before the rest of the activities that you're doing in any learning unit are due. And here's the rationale for that. How many of you have been in course discussion boards that have a response requirement and you log in at say 9 p.m. on the deadline and you notice that only 2 other people have posted? Everyone's procrastinating. They're waiting 10 minutes before the deadline to get all of their stuff in. It's very frustrating if you are a proactive, diligent student to wait on other folks to do their work. So that is why I have set the question component to be due 24 hours prior to the other deadlines. So every Sunday night at 11:59 p.m., the question component of your Packback discussion is due. That way, when everyone logs in on Monday to wrap up all the work on a learning unit, including Packback, you jump into this platform and everyone's questions will be there. And you won't have to be sitting and waiting for people to start posting, okay? Next thing to note is this curiosity score component. The curiosity score is essentially Packback's AI-generated evaluation of your work, prompting you to go deeper in depth and curiosity with respect to your questions and responses. And I believe I have set the curiosity score at 45 points, and it runs from a range of 0 to 100. So 45 is sort of the minimum you need in order to publish a gradable Packback discussion question and response posts. And I'll show you how the curiosity score works in just a moment, okay? All right, so you got that sort of information telling you what's due. Now, up here, you got some toolbars. This will allow you to sort through discussion posts where you can look for keywords, you can look for people, so on and so forth, if you want to target something specific in your responses. And you can also sort discussion posts based on what's new, who's gotten the most traction on their questions, people responding a lot to a question, highlighting it as being really good. You can find discussion posts that are really excellent, but no one's responded to it yet. You can look at questions that have a high curiosity score, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of ways of sorting our activity within the feed. All right, so next thing, Unit 1, Packback Holocaust Studies. This is sort of the guidance message that I will provide on most packbacks. So we're going to pull this up, and you see that it's instructor information. And for this first packback, I've given a lot of scaffolding here. I'm not going to read it all to you, but please go through and take a look. And it will sort of give you some directions with respect to how to be successful in packback and what I want you to focus on for this first packback activity. In later packback assignments, I may not include anything here at all. And it will just be open-ended. You choose your own adventure. Okay? So back to discussions. I can now see any posts that have been made. And I have, for your benefit, given you a demo post here. Okay? If I want to quickly look at something, I can look at a preview of my question and my justification for the question. If I want, I can click anywhere here in the post and I get the full post. So my question is, though Jews were the primary target of Nazi destruction, how is their fate tied in key ways to the fate of other victim groups? And then I give you a rationale for my question. And down here, you'll see when I posted it, and you'll also see my curiosity score, 92. So I intentionally tried to make this as robust as possible to earn as many curiosity points as is available so that you have a model to work with. So after reading through this, you can then click Add a Response, and you can respond to me, okay? So what I want to do, though, is just give you a sense of what it looks like when you are ready to post your own question. So we're going to ask a new question, and I'm going to ask a bad question. Packback does not want you to ask questions about course logistics. When is the Learning Unit 1 quiz due? Okay. And you'll see I'm getting instant feedback here, and I don't have a great curiosity score. But I'm going to try to increase that curiosity score by telling Packback why I think this question is good. I need to know about the deadline so that I can prioritize my workflow. Also, is anyone interested in forming a study group? Okay, and if I scroll down here, you'll get a word count that'll update. And you need a minimum of 20 words for Packback to provide you with any sort of real feedback. And you'll see here, whoops, my curiosity score is not great, and I've also got some alerts here. I'm being told by the AI assistant that my question is closed-ended, so it's kind of just like there's only one answer to the question that I have posted. And I'm also offering a question about class logistics, and that's not what Packback is for. So what I need to do is I need to redo my question, and I need to redo my description to respond to these alerts. And when I do that, my curiosity score is going to go up, and these flags and suggestions are going to go away. So after I do all of these fixes, and that's what Packback is about, it's about revision. It's giving you the opportunity to respond in real time to improve the quality of your work. So when I finish up here, I can add a source if I'm referring to something in the textbook or something posted in a news article online. I can add the source. That always helps the curiosity score. So after I do that, I can then submit post, and I can choose to submit it now or schedule it for later. If you do schedule for later, make sure it is done by the assignment deadline. Okay? So once I get everything posted, we're good to go. I'm just going to leave this page because I don't want this to actually post. And then if I had posted that, it would show up down here. And it is ready for folks to respond to. Okay? So that is Packback in a nutshell. You're going to get 40 points for each of your Packback activities. The Packback application will generate a score for me based on a variety of criteria that I have put forth, but I will then go in and edit that score based on what I'm seeing from you with respect to content. So I will never post scores without having taken a look at what you've posted first. Questions? Let me know.